Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer!
Hello,
right.
Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things.
What up, and welcome back to Boring Reviews. Jodi here.
Nick here.
And today we are reacting to another...
David Mitchell, obviously from Mitchell and Webb. Everybody knows that.
Soapbox. Dun, dun, dun.
I like that. And which one are we checking out today?
Naming your child. Now, I'm really excited about this
Me too.
because having 3 kids, we've definitely gone through this. I will say, like, I think naming...
Not fun,
No.
okay? Naming your child. It's not fun.
Naming our first one was the hardest because every name that I loved, you absolutely hated.
They were
And
bad
every
names.
name...
Kidding.
Every name that you liked, I wasn't a fan of.
Fantastic.
So we really struggled with Jackson. But we finally came up with a name.
Ooh, spoiler alert.
You came up with the first. Oh well, you came up with the first name. I came up with the middle name, and then Kai.
Did you?
I came up with his middle name.
Okay.
You butthead. I wanted to name it his first name, but you wanted to name him Action Jackson. Then with our daughter Kai, again, same issue. We just kept kind of going back and forth, but we did like bring it down to like 3 names we both liked. We liked Lainey, we liked Maya, and we liked Kai.
We also liked Kylie, too.
And we liked Kylie. So we had 4 names. Yeah, so we got hers. But again, first name, middle name. So by the time we had our 3rd child, I was like, listen, I'm the first name this time. You named both of our kids. It's my freaking turn. I'm the one carrying that baby for 9 months, getting kicked in the ribs and the bladder, being nicknamed to push me off the bed because I couldn't get out.
I did my part, too.
Oh, yeah. The thing you love doing the most.
Jim Gaffigan.
Yes, Jim Gaffigan. We should start reacting to some of his. Anyway.
I've listened to him so much.
But yes, with our last kid, I did do his first name finally. Came up with it. But it's a thing. And like most parents, I mean, how many friends do we have who've had their baby and then like, we still don't have a name? Like, we gotta get on it.
Even
It's
though
hard.
the name you wanted to name him, I would not let you, so...
Well, 2 names. Jackson's, I wanted to go with Alec and Kahada woulda shoulda. Kahada! Kahada! It's such a good name.
Okay, please take a few seconds out of your time watching this video. You're probably cooking, you're probably chilling, you're probably snoozing, I don't know. Take a few seconds, please, and comment below at how the name Kahada, unless that's your name, I apologize, probably is not the best choice for your firstborn, just saying. And the only reason she wanted to name him that, because he was a real-life person on the real world, and she thought he was a great guy, and she thought the name would translate.
He was so nice.
But
he was so sweet. Like,
just let us know.
I just wanted to name our child after a sweet person.
Everyone we've met has always kind of rolled their eyes when they've heard that. Please, just take a few seconds, comment below. As you're taking a few seconds. But after that,
you have to say Alec, A-L-E-C, is a good name too. Alec was a good name. You vetoed it.
Let us know if you think that's a good name.
It's a good name. Alec is a good name.
It's not as crazy as the other one. While you're taking those few seconds, please also don't forget to
like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can check out our next videos.
The end of the story is we didn't come to the final name till like days, if not minutes, before they were born.
Yes.
It was a long, arduous task. Here we go. Hey, it's the guy from Mitchell Webb.
Newborn ward.
If you watched the previous 2 of these with the diligent care which I request and require, you will be fully warned against the folly of trying to express your uniqueness either in your stag night or your wedding.
Need to watch
Now we come to the big one. There may well come a time when you and your partner seek to launch a new type of person you have created.
Basil.
To do this, you will be required to come up with a name for them.
Listen.
Unless you're a writer, a shipwright, or an IKEA furniture designer, you may well never have been required to name a thing before, bar the odd pet. It will seem like an enormous decision, and one to which you ought surely to bring a little of the creativity for which you are so admired amongst your friends. After all, you yourself are a wildly unique and special person, and so, to a lesser extent, is your partner. Naturally, you may think, the result of a union between 2 such unusual or unique individuals requires an unusual or unique name, so that everyone they encounter will immediately understand the levels of one-of-a-kindness they're dealing with here. Time to ditch the solid workaday Toms and Sarahs and search instead the baby books, obscure apocryphal gospels, and local takeaway menus for something appropriately bespoke. Do not, under any circumstances, do this. For a start, names aren't fundamentally, and I know I'll get angry letters from branding experts on disgustingly over-designed writing paper for saying this, but still, they're not fundamentally very important. It's amazing what you can get used to in a name. For instance, I've personally never been that crazy about the name of the Channel 4 sitcom Peep Show. I mean, it's fine, but a peep show sounds a bit sexy. And taken along with the late-night slot on Channel 4, the first-time viewer would not be unreasonable to expect titillation. Which seems to me writing a cheque with the title which the content of constant footage of two pallid men in their 30s aging in real time will emphatically fail to honour. Why not follow the example of Frasier or Fawlty Towers and call it the thing that's the main thing in it? In Peep Show's case, I suppose Mark and Jez, or The Two Men. But, as I say, it doesn't really matter, because as soon as you get used to a name, you stop noticing it altogether, whether it be mildly misleading, like Peep Show, or wrenchingly clunky and awful, like Have I Got News for You, or Strictly Come Dancing. Ridiculous and off-putting the first few times you heard them, but now simply the name for that thing, as unremarkable as the 6 o'clock news or Gardener's World. But people, unlike TV shows, are not simply unveiled once and then allowed to seep into the national consciousness. People have to introduce themselves again and again at every stage of their lives. All the more vital to suppress your understandable, but ultimately vain and self-defeating, desire to demonstrate the uniqueness of your child. Of course he or she is unique. Everyone's unique. But take a step back, and that's as irrelevant a distinction as the one between snowflakes. The truly exceptional, the snowflake that's red, is in the eye of the beholder, and you don't convince anyone they've encountered it just by naming your child Sunshine or Space Vixen. Or indeed Snowflake. It's bad enough for people with mildly unusual or connotation-laden names. Everyone has an idea of what a Tarquin is like, and that must be a millstone round the neck of all the Tarquins who aren't like that, and whose friends constantly have to explain he's called Tarquin, but he's actually quite a normal bloke. Whereas normal blokeitude, or rather a certain pressure-relieving colourlessness, should surely be what parents are aiming for. To do otherwise seems arrogant, controlling, or just plain cruel. Why give or make up a name which will ensure everyone who first meets them will have strong preconceptions about them when there are so many names to choose from with little or no baggage? Except for all our own private irrational feelings that say Simon's a self-absorbed, Andrew's a short, or Lisa's a trouble. And picking such a name certainly doesn't mean your child is condemned to stolidity. After all, a Richard can always become a Ringo in later life, if he wishes. But then again, a John, Paul, or George can stick with their stolid, colourless names and not noticeably suffer from failing to be called Jongo, Pongo, or Jingo.
I gotta say, I am always impressed with the writing that he comes up with. And there's someone else's name there that's mentioned as writing as well. It is not as easy as a task to, like you say, fixate on one thing and to do like almost a whole mini thesis on that particular thing with different examples and this or that. Very, very impressive. He's crazy for fixating so much, but it's absolutely hilarious.
Do you know what? I want to bring David Mitchell to Utah. In the United States, Utah is known as the state that has the craziest names. I mean, they come up with not only the craziest names, but the craziest spellings for those names. I mean, people make fun of the names there because you could take a name as simple as Brittany, and in Utah have like 8, 9 different spellings.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you look at it and you're like, B-H-R-E-T, like, where are you getting this? And so I'm so curious, like, what he would have to say if he met the Utah names.
It's, I mean, naming's crazy because you want to be unique, but at the same time, you want to be too unique. Yeah. But one of our biggest arguments that we had back and forth, mild argument, if you will, about going back and forth with the names was like, no, I already know it. I knew a Tiffany, and she was horrible. Oh, I knew a Luke. What, Luke Skywalker? Like, all that kind of stuff. And it's hard not to focus on, talking about fixating, not to focus on that. I'm not going to name my kid after that if they're my high school bully or whatever it is.
Well, and it's hard if you're a teacher and you have those names in your class, because I'm so sorry. We love our students, but some names are just ruined. Yes, they're just ruined. And you're like, no, can't. And actually, it's hilarious because one of my hardest students has a name very similar to one of our kids' names. It was my hardest student, but luckily we had our kid first.
But, and the other side of that is let's say you do name your kid that thing. They do not care that you once knew someone with the same name that was not the nicest. It has nothing to do with them. So it's just kind of funny, the things that we do. But he's absolutely hilarious. I love the writing. Great little video right there, soapbox video. Let us know what else you want us to react to in the world of David Mitchell. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
Goodbye.